When I say UK international train services, you'll instantly think of the Eurostar. But have you ever heard of this one? The Enterprise service between the Republic and Northern Ireland is the other lesser known international service in the UK, and with its comfortable interior, scenic landscapes and amazing onboard dining experience, it certainly is a special one. I'll be taking you with me this week on a journey from the Irish capital Dublin to Northern Ireland's capital Belfast on this amazing cross-border service. Now sit back and enjoy the ride. Dublin's Connolly station, one of the two main stations serving the Irish capital and where our journey begins. Services to and from Belfast have been serving the station since, would you believe, 1853. The station is well connected by bus and even the Luas tram network across Dublin, so getting to and from here isn't a massive issue. Opened in 1844 as Dublin Station, it has since seen several name changes until its Connolly naming in 1966 after Irish revolutionary James Connelly, and the inside of the main station concourse is very pleasant indeed. Buying your tickets can be as easy as buying them from the kiosks or ticket machines, or you can even collect them from both, like I did from one of the ticket machines here for my northbound Enterprise to Belfast. There are also plenty of shops to prepare you for your onward journey, particularly as no services here other than the Enterprise offer any catering on board. And naturally, the Enterprise is one of many services which makes Connolly such a busy station, which combined with its location and brilliant alternate transport links, makes it the busiest station in the Republic of Ireland. Our train up to Belfast this morning is the 9:30 departure just here. You may also notice something here, but I'll touch on this later in the video. Whilst Heuston Station on the other side of the city works services to the south and west, such as Cork and Galway, Connolly tends to handle Dublin's northern and eastern traffic, including the DART services across the local Dublin area. All services are operated in whole or partially by Iarnrod Eireann, Ireland's state-owned rail operator, but I'll come back to this shortly. As with every major Irish rail station, ticket barriers are in operation at Connolly for platforms 3 to 7. However, for the Enterprise, you'll instead head over to the waiting area between platforms 1 and 2, which are the dedicated platforms for Belfast services. No passport checks are required and the lounge is available for anyone to use. And whilst the only thing here catering wise is a vending machine, it's still worth coming here to the lounge to check out and learn more about the deep history associated with the Irish Railways. High winds from a storm were causing issues across both the Republic and Northern Ireland the day I travelled, so our Enterprise set arrives in 10 minutes before departure. The Enterprise sets comprise of 4 sets of 70 Dietrich coaching stock, built in 1996, which are based on the Eurostar E300 or TMST sets. At the Dublin end is a driving trailer to enable push-pull operation, whilst a Class 201 diesel locomotive built between 1994 and 1995 hauls the train at the Belfast end, which is specially modified for use on the Northern Ireland rail network. In addition, modified Mark III generator vans were added to each consist in 2012 to prevent extensive power usage from the locomotives, which caused them damage. In the event the sets break down, however, a dedicated pool of Iarnrod Eireann Class 2200 and Northern Ireland Railways Class 3000 diesel multiple units are modified for working in both the Republic and Northern Ireland to be used as substitute stock. It's worth noting that should this happen, there will be no Enterprise Plus or First Class on board, which is in the 4 purpose-built sets in coaches A and B, and I'm in the latter for today's trip up north. This is ideal as it's right next to the cafe car, but again, more on this a little later. Before boarding Enterprise Plus, you are greeted by the attendant who checks your ticket and directs you to your carriage. Enterprise Plus is in a 2x1 configuration, and I must admit I love the design and ambience on board. The route to Belfast today will see us head north towards the border, with 2 stops in the Republic of Ireland at Drogheda and Dundalk. Following this, there will be 2 more intermediate calls at Newry and Portadown before arriving into Belfast's Lanyon Place station, with the journey taking 2 hours and 15 minutes to cover the 123-mile distance. Owing to the storm disruption, we depart Dublin Connolly 15 minutes late at 09:45 Irish time. To the right as we exit the station is one of Iarnrod Eireann's depots, which also acts as a maintenance and stabling point for the Enterprise fleet, the former operating the latter as a joint venture with Northern Ireland Railways. We also have a stunning view of the sun emerging in the clouds over the Dublin suburbs as we begin to work our way out of the city. It's at this point when the attendant provides the menu to all Enterprise Plus passengers for the at-seat service, with all meals being prepared on board in the cafe car and is comparable to many food services offered in mainland Europe. There is also a digital menu accessible by this QR code, though I've also linked this in the description below. Okay, while we wait for breakfast to get ready, let's check out the interior here in Enterprise Plus. The seat is very comfortable. The ergonomics and padding make it well suited for journeys over 2 hours. Each seat also features an automatic recline, which is operated using the buttons on the right armrest. Oh, and the armrests are also foldable, by the way. The legroom on the seat is actually pretty good, a decent amount of space available to kick back and relax on this trip. A standard 3-pin power socket is also present for charging laptops and other mobile devices, and just above are the seat reservation displays. These can either display your name or reservation number, as I've done here, with the light system used here as commonly seen on the UK mainland. Reading lamps are found just above the overhead luggage racks, as are coat hooks for placing coats and other clothes, and finally a draw-down blind to reduce the harsh sunlight or if you somehow get bored of the views. All in all, a very nice interior and well suited for the Enterprise service. Certainly a lot nicer than most trains we have back on the UK mainland. At this point, the train begins to slow down owing to the ongoing weather issues which were really doing a number on the Irish rail network today. Soon, however, we're back on track and reach a healthy 70 miles per hour, which is just 20 miles per hour short of our top speed on today's trip. We also pass Howth Junction and Donaghmede Station, which is where the Dublin Dart branch to Howth splits from the Malahide branch and the main line to Belfast, which will be continuing on for just under 2 hours. And right on cue, the meal service begins shortly after passing here. Each Enterprise Plus passenger is provided a complimentary welcome drink, though the meal itself has to be paid for. At the time, I was on a health kick, so despite how tasty the pancakes looked, I ended up going for the porridge instead, though I definitely think the maple syrup defeated the purpose of ordering it. Just after Malahide, we pass through the broad Meadow Estuary, which we cross over on a 19th century built railway viaduct that enables us to truly appreciate the spectacular scenery on offer. Not only is it an important wintering site for numerous species of waterbird, such as the globally threatened common loon, it also regulates water quality and flooding, as well as mitigating the effects of storms. It's here where our train is finally able to stretch its legs and at last reach its maximum operating speed of 90 miles per hour. Our first stop for today is Drogheda, located 25 miles north of Dublin city centre. Drogheda is the last bridging point on the River Boyne before it enters the Irish Sea, and we actually cross the river itself over the 30-metre high Boyne Viaduct, which became operational in 1855. This also provides spectacular views over the town, which we can truly appreciate as we continue north. With the views now coming to an end, let's now have a look at the rest of the train. As I mentioned before, there's a full dining car on the Enterprise like on most European trains, and if you're in standard class, you can sit down and order food here should you wish. Carriage D is the standard accessible coach as indicated by the accessible toilet and the generous wheelchair space available for those with reduced mobility. Standard class itself is in a 2x2 layout featuring a mixture of airline style and table seats. There is also decent overhead luggage space as well as larger racks for heavier items at the end of the carriage towards the vestibules. Dundalk is our last stopping point in the Republic of Ireland, being located just next to the Northern Ireland border and halfway between Dublin and Belfast. There is also a small museum in one of the station buildings which shows numerous railway photos and artefacts related to the Irish railways. It's now full speed ahead as we cross the border into Northern Ireland. Like the borders in mainland Europe, sadly there's no way to actually tell you've crossed it by looking outside, especially as the line here is unelectrified. You'll instead have to rely on Google Maps if you can get a decent signal. The M1 motorway on the Northern Irish side can be seen as we approach our first stop in Northern Ireland, Newry. As in the Republic, we'll only have 2 stops on the Northern Irish side before Belfast, this again being a limited stop express into the Northern Irish capital. The accessible toilets are again similar to those found on the Eurostar TMST's pre-refurbishment. However, Enterprise have incorporated their own style following the stock refurbishment in the early 2010s, and it certainly looks the part. Everything here was impeccably clean too, and includes space for a baby changing facility and coat hooks. The last stop before Lanyon Place is Portadown, and it's now worth mentioning the changes coming to the Enterprise very soon. At the time of editing, services only went as far as Portadown owing to the works being performed to prepare the moving of the Enterprise to Belfast Grand Central, which is expected to open later in September 2024 for rail traffic, though it did open just under 2 weeks ago for bus traffic. Consequently, rail replacement buses from Portadown and Newry will be in operation until Grand Central opens, but when it does, there will be a dedicated Enterprise lounge like in Dublin, as well as better city centre connections, and I can't wait to come back and check it out for myself. On that note, what do I think? Well, I definitely think that Enterprise service is brilliant, and it's certainly a lot more enjoyable than flying or driving. The crew are nice, the trains used are comfortable and clean, and the dining experience and scenery certainly topped off the journey for me. My Enterprise Plus ticket set me back €31.99, which I thought was decent value for money, especially compared to most UK domestic services. The delay, which wasn't Enterprise's fault, led to us arriving into Belfast Lanyon Place around 20 minutes late at 12:05. Now you've heard from me, I want to hear from you. Have you taken the Enterprise before to or from Belfast? Are you planning on taking it when Grand Central Station opens? Let me know in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and share it if you did to aid the channel's growth, as well as subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content such as this weekly. Okay, time to go grab some lunch ahead of exploring more of Northern Ireland. Thanks so much for coming with me on this trip, and I look forward to bringing you with me on my next one.